Well, greetings and salutations, folks. I hope everyone is still doing well, and welcome to this night-ending bonus upload. Before we jump into it, a couple quick links. As many of you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, channel membership, and the merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. Links to Patreon, PayPal, and channel membership is in the description below. Merch displayed directly under the video. Also, Dogman Frightening Encounters, Volume 1 through 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeff Not Only. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, links to which are also in the description as well. And finally, last but definitely not least, if you'd really like to help support the channel to continue to grow and go, simply subscribe. It does not cost a cent. Click that like button, takes half a second. If you don't want to miss out on any of the informative uploads that I put out daily, click that bell icon, and folks, please leave a comment and share the video. Why? Well, because these things really do help the channel to continue to grow and go. They definitely do matter and are appreciated. And with that, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's jump in to this night-ending bonus upload. Shall we?
And the conspiracy. The death of a journalist in West Virginia plus the jailing of an alleged CIA computer consultant in Washington state may be elements of a much wider scandal that could have serious implications. What started out as an investigation of an apparent case of pirated software has grown to be a project involving hundreds of journalists all over the world. The dead journalist, Joseph Danny Casillero, was found dead August 10th of 1991 in a motel room in West Virginia. His wrists were slashed 7 times on each wrist. A suicide note was found nearby. The only manuscript of his book with accompanying notes was missing. The book, titled The Octopus, was meant to be an explosive expose of misdeeds by the Justice Department under the Reagan administration. Time magazine also reported that Casillero's research centered on gambling and attempted arms dealing at the Cabazon reservation near Indo, California. Indeed, the scoop of Casillero's investigation was so large that any one of the large number of areas of research could have been the trigger for a possible hit. While authorities declared his death a suicide, his relatives definitely stated that Casillero's mental state was sound, indeed upbeat, after the completion of his book. Casillero started his work nearly 2 years before, investigating the bankruptcy of a small computer software company called Inslaw, allegedly by the United States Justice Department. Inslaw, a company headed by Bill and Nancy Hamilton of Washington, D.C., had developed a package known as PROMIS, short for Prosecutors Management Information System, to act as a case management tool for the Justice Department's unwieldy workload. Inslaw President Bill Hamilton has claimed that Ed Meese' associate, Earl Bryan, has given control of pirated versions of the PROMIS software by Meese to sell back to different U.S. government agencies for great profit. 2 courts have so far agreed with Hamilton, awarding an $8 million judgment, but higher court of appeal had quashed the award and verdict, declaring it was not the jurisdiction of lower courts. As of October 9th, the case had moved into the realm of the Supreme Court. Earl Bryan owns United Press International and Financial News Network. According to the Washington man who claimed to have modified the COBOL-based software for the CIA and other intelligence agencies, the software was a reward for Earl Bryan's role in arranging the so-called October surprise gambit, the alleged conspiracy to withhold the American hostages in Iran until after the '80 election, which saw Carter removed from power. The October surprise scandal has taken some time to emerge. In a Paris meeting, President Bush is alleged to have met with Ali Akbar Hashemi, Rafsanjani, the Speaker of the Iranian Parliament, Mohammad Ali Rajai, and future President of Iran, and Mansour Ghorbanifar, an Iranian arms dealer with connection to Mossad, according to Navy Captain Gunther Rossbacher, who claimed to have flown Bush, William Casey, the CIA chief, and Donald Gregg, a CIA operative, to the location. Rossbacher, who made these allegations in May, is now in jail on Terminal Island, convicted on a charge of impersonating a U.S. attorney. Side note, Rossbacher defected from the CIA with 12 Navy SEALs under his command and was on at least 2 occasions the target of attempted CIA hits. The would-be assassins attempted to drive Gunther and his wife off the roads and down side cliffs to their death. However, according to Rossbacher, his SEAL team agents, who were watching over him unbeknownst to the intended assassins, moved up quickly from behind and sent the CIA hitmen to their deaths instead. The Washington man is Michael Rickeniodto, who is now waiting for a trial in Washington jail on conspiracy to sell drug charges with Rickeniodto claims are manufactured. Indeed, the charges against Rickeniodto were made 1 week after Rickeniodto authored and signed an affidavit describing his role in modifying the pirated software. Side note, it is interesting what connections we can find. Michael Rickeniodto was a Wackenhut CIA employee who told researcher Michael Lindman that he had attempted to get the whole helicopter full of documents and evidence detailing illegal biogenetic activities and non-congressional sanctioned projects involving illegal aliens out of Nevada test site. The chopper was blown out of sky, killing all 5 personnel on board. Michael's father happened to be Marshal Rickeniodto, a fascist and supporter of Adolf Hitler, who was a very close friend of Fred L. Chrisman. Chrisman was involved in the Murray Island UFO sighting incident in 1947 near Tacoma, Washington, with researcher Anthony Kimori believes involved the test flight of a hybrid CIA Project Paperclip Nazi aerial discs. There are several sources which claim that by the early 40s the Nazis had succeeded in test flying wingless crafts powered by rotary devices, rocket power, and donut configuration jet turbine engines rather than cylindrical, with the cabin stabilized by gyro and compressors rotating in one direction, and the expansion chambers and vectored exhausts rotating in the opposite. In fact, the movie The Battle of the Bulge correctly implies that this, one of the largest military battles during World War II, between American and German forces, was an attempt by the Germans to buy time and prolong the war just a little while longer, for within a few more months the Germans would have been mass-producing jet fighters, bombers, and other super weapons that would have been invincible to the turbo-propped fleets of the Allies. With the Allied invasion of Germany just before the mass production began, many of the prototypes and plans of the Nazi military machine were captured. However, most of the most sophisticated prototype plans and even scientists mysteriously turned up missing following the war. After the war had ended, several of the Nazi scientists who were captured and who had helped develop revolutionary aircraft were recruited by the CIA as a result of a secret deal that had been made between Alan Dulce, a member of the Bavarian Illuminati, and the Nazi SS general Reinhard Gehlen, a member of the Bavarian Thule Society. The deep connections between the Bavarian Illuminati, which sponsored the CIA, and the Bavarian Thule Society, which sponsored the Nazis, allowed for a upper covert op level of CIA to be manned by nothing less than the core of the Nazi SS itself, with the help of fascist sympathizers and the fifth column double agents working within the American intelligence. Although some of the leading Nazis were sacrificed to the Nuremberg trials to appease the Allies and establish the illusion that Europe had been denazified, Fred L. Chisholm, incidentally, was a witness to the Murray Island event and had helped 2 Army G2 agents acquire slag samples, which fell from one of the 6 donut-shaped ships observed. On their way to deliver the samples to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio, their plane crashed and both G2 agents were killed. Some people at the time insisted that the plane had been sabotaged. 2 of the reporters who investigated the incident lost their lives. And Kenneth Arnold, who investigated the incident after being commissioned by Amazing Stories by editor Ray Palmer, claimed that his conversations with high Air Force officials concerning the subject were electronically monitored. Also, strange government agents in dark suits were seen in the area shortly after his investigation. Kenneth Arnold, during an air search for a crashed plane over Mount Rainier, saw 9 crescent-shaped discs, which he called flying saucers. The news media publicized the event, the term stuck, and became a media catchword ever since. Also around the same time, 1947, Arnold escaped a near-fatal crash when his airplane mysteriously lost power. The connections do not end here. Fred L. Chisholm was a close friend with Clay Shaw, whom Louisiana District Attorney James Garrison, see the movie JFK, accused of being CIA mafia go-between in the JFK murder. Garrison arrested Shaw in an effort to charge him and the CIA with JFK's assassination. However, only a few days before the hearing, Garrison's star witness, David Ferry, was killed, and Garrison's remaining evidence was not enough to bring about a conviction. Fred Chisholm was the first man Clay Shaw claimed to have heard that Garrison intended to implicate him. Garrison also believed that Clay Shaw himself was involved with Project Paperclip, the secret operation to bring Nazi war criminals into the United States by the hundreds, some say thousands, give them immunity, new identities in such institutions as the United States intelligence, the military-industrial complex, the space agencies, and the various Rockefeller-connected oil cartels such as Arco, Standard, which is Exxon, and Zapata, etc. Corporations were supported by the Bavarian-based secret society lodges, corporations that had actually sold oil to the Nazis during World War II and helped keep the Nazi war machine operating. According to Garrison, Crimson worked as a middleman between the fascist policymakers and the lower echelons of the military-industrial complex. Oh, what a tangled web. These American megabankers and traitors to the freedom had supported the Nazis in an effort to initiate the Bavarian-backed New World Order under the cover of the Third Reich. Read the book, No One Dare Call It a Conspiracy, by the late Gary Allen, for more on the Rockefeller connection. The affidavit also claimed that he, Michael Rickeniodto, had been contacted by phone and threatened by Peter Vidicus, a Justice Department employee and customs official who Rickeniodto alleged had intelligence ties as to the possible consequences of his going public with certain information. According to Rickeniodto, Vidicus was a frequent visitor to the Cabazon Indian Reservation near Palm Springs and visited with tribal manager John P. Nichols. Nichols was, in sense, Rickeniodto's boss in a number of enterprises conducted on the res, and the Promise modifications was just one of these projects. According to Rickeniodto, in an interview with TC conducted from jail, the Promise software was modified to install a backdoor access for use by American intelligence services. The software was then sold to 88 different countries as sort of a Trojan horse package, enabling us to access their intelligence systems. According to Rickeniodto, these countries included Iraq and Libya. Correspondence between Nichols and other companies, if authentic, indicates that Rickeniodto's claims of his expertise in the area of electronics and armaments appear to be true. Marshall Rickeniodto, Michael's father, is a reputed former business partner of Richard Nixon. According to Rickeniodto, the fuzzy status of reservation land as sovereign allowed elements of the CIA and organized crime to conduct business. Among the projects worked on during this time were joint projects with Wackenhut, a company loaded with former CIA and NSA personnel and business ventures with the Saudi Arabian royal family, and other unusual projects. A joint venture with Southern California Edison will soon be generating power for biomass drawn from the local waste outlets. Biological warfare projects were investigated with Stormont Laboratories looking into the creation of pathogenic viruses, and enhanced fuel-air explosive weapons were created and tested in league with the Meridian Arms at Nevada testing range, which matched the explosive power of nuclear devices. These enhanced weapons gained their power from polarizing the molecules in the gas cloud by modification of an electric field, a technology developed from exploring Thomas Townsend Brown's suppressed work, a knowledge which Rickeniodto claims he had gained from working at Lear in Reno, Nevada. Rickeniodto is said to have worked on an enhanced fuel-air explosive weapon with Gerald Bull of Space Research Corporation. Bull, now deceased, later became an arms advisor to Saddam Hussein. It is said that Hussein possesses a fee of technology. In July, Anson Ng, a reporter for the Financial Times of London, was shot and killed in Guatemala. He had reportedly been trying to interview an American there named Jimmy Hughes, a one-time director of security for the Cabazon Indian Reservation's secret projects. In April, a Philadelphia attorney named Dennis Eastman was found dead, killed by a single bullet in his chest. According to a former federal official who worked with Eastman, the attorney was found dead in a parking lot where he had been due to meet with a woman who had crucial evidence to share, substantiating Rickeniodto's claims. Both Eastman and Ng's death were declared suicides by authorities. Fred Alvarez, a Cabazon tribal leader who was in vocal opposition of the developments on the res, was found shot to death with two friends in 1981. Their murder remains unsolved. The leader of the House, Thomas Foley, announced that the formal inquiry will be initiated into the Inslaw case. Foley appointed Senator Terry Sanford as co-chairman of the Joint Congressional Panel. Prior to his election, Senator Sanford was the attorney representing Earl Bryan in his 1985 takeover bid of the United Press International, and was instrumental in appointing Earl Bryan, a medical doctor, to the board of Duke Medical School, of which Sanford is president. However, despite repeated requests from journalists to produce photographs showing Rickeniodto together with Bryan, the request to produce his passport showing his alleged trip to Iran has not yet been done. Also, Rickeniodto failed to be able to describe Peter Vitkus in CNN's Moneyline program, claiming a medical condition prevented him from remembering clearly. This led one former intelligence operative to speculate that we may be witnessing a very sophisticated intelligence operation being played out right in the public. Former FBI Special Agent Ted Gunderson speaks for Rickeniodto's credibility. Gunderson, who lives in Manhattan Beach, has worked with Rickeniodto for many years in his capacity as a private investigator. Together, according to Gunderson, they were responsible for thwarting a terrorist operation during the Los Angeles Olympics According to Gunderson, Rickeniodto is well known in certain circles as a genius in almost all sciences. The so-called drug operation broken up in Washington state was an hydrodynamic mining operation, claimed Gunderson, using Townsend Brown technology. A videotape viewed by his journalists revealed metallic powders, an apparent process unrelated to drug manufacturing. Indeed, a government analysis of soil samples revealed the absence of drug contamination, but a high concentration of barium. Barium is often found in high voltage related work. Unsubstantiated information from the intelligence source claims that current situation is the visible effect of a war currently going on in the intelligence community between a group centered in the CIA called Aquarius around a powerful center known as MJ-12 and another group known as Com-12 centered around naval intelligence. Com-12 is reputedly trying to sustain a rearguard action to sustain and preserve constitutional government and is deliberately leaking information damaging to the former group. In the same publication, same issue, there appeared to be a follow-up article which followed the one given above, written by Thomas Zed. The article, titled Wackenhut's Connection with the Black Project World, stated, Wackenhut Company has been very close connection to the world of black budget projects. Besides being connected with the Cabazon venture mentioned in this issue, it is also responsible, according to jailed computer consultant Michael Rickeniodto, for the secret projects being undertaken in Dulce, New Mexico, where the Jicarilla Indian Reservation is being similarly used. After sending 2 of my colleagues there recently and receiving confirmation that there is a top-secret military-type installation, I've decided to call the newspaper office and make an educated bluff. I identified myself as a freelance reporter from L.A., told the newspaper that I was doing a story on the Cabazon Reservation biological warfare projects that had been undertaken there on behalf of the CIA. I told her that I had heard that there were similar things being done in Dulce and would like to know what is going on. The official I spoke with became frightened and said, I cannot talk to you about that. It would be very unprofessional for me to talk to you about that. You'll have to speak to the president of the tribe. I have yet to call back and ask for the president. Wackenhut is also responsible for security of a lot of the underground facilities in California and Nevada, including the notorious S4 or Area 51 in Nevada, where Townsend Brown flying disc technology has been flying and developing for decades. A recent helicopter crash at the area where 2 pilots and 3 security guards from Wackenhut flying in a Messerschmitt BO-105 helicopter was killed was not at all an accident, claimed Rickeniodto, who said that the individuals aboard the helicopter were traveling with sensitive documents. Groups are still now investigating Rickeniodto's claims.
There you have it, folks. I hope you all enjoyed this night ending bonus upload as much as I enjoyed sharing it with you. I'd really like to thank you all for supporting the channel. It is your support that helps this channel to continue to grow and go, and what gives us all a place and a chance to share our experiences and theories judgment-free. Everyone is simply treated with the respect that we deserve. Please, everyone, stay safe, happy, healthy, and ever vigilant, keeping an eye on our children, pets, family, and our friends. These creatures are real. These events have happened. Share this information with those you love and care about, and it may just help save their lives someday. Until next time, never stop asking questions, never stop searching for the truth, and God bless you all.